So
Yeah.
who are you? Viewers out there, who are you? What do you do?
I am an
What are you all
enabler of
about?
all good things. And if you're up to good things in the world, I am one of those people who will support you 100% and do whatever it is that I can to my fullness to ensure that your leadership is out there and the message that you're delivering is out there.
Beauty.
Yeah.
But what about your name, your business?
Oh, yes.
all that fun
all
stuff.
of the small talk networking stuff. Okay. My name's Henrietta Devine. I am the owner and creator of a clothing brand called Tagulan. We design and print and pull silk screen, super soft, sustainable t-shirts that are made from mostly cotton and rayon from bamboo. We use the proceeds to educate children about urban agriculture with the food line of clothing. We also have 2 other brands that are coming out: Surf Naked, that's cleaning up our shorelines and beaches, and Hinterland, and that's being out in nature and the benefits of being out in nature and what that does to our body and our vibration frequency in which we operate. We cultivate community by bringing other brands to our apparel. So if you are a brand that's aligned to our values, then we work together and create a beautiful wardrobe capsule for yourself and one for your audience that they will love wearing over and over again. So your brand message is out there all the time. And we've done one. We've done Togger.
Togger.
Yeah.
And so Henrietta helped us launch our first line, and you know, the second line has been kind of on pause for a bit, but you know, I think we have a lot of time to work on that now. I do, anyways. I don't know about you. But,
yeah, we got
with everything halted. It's interesting times for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
what are you doing with this time?
What am I doing at this time? So the first couple days was kind of panic. I think that's understandable. So it's like, okay, how's my family taken care of? How is business going to be taken care of? What am I going to do with all these bills? You know, I went from having a full calendar, you know, for 10 years plus now, all of a sudden to just zero, just like that.
That feels really strange.
Yeah, so I mean, you got this income that you're expecting, and for small business, it's so important that all this income that you're expecting the next few months literally went to zero in a flash.
Yeah.
Because all these events are now canceled. You know, for the safety and health of everybody, we're not going to have anybody at the studio, so we can't do any studio shoots as well. And it's not recommended that we go out and do any shoots. So I'm in full support of essentially a lockdown, so we can all get past this together.
Yeah.
But you know, at the same time, it's scary. So it's nice to be in a country like Canada where there is assistance for small businesses. I mean, keep in mind that a lot of the assistance, they're loan-based type assistance.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not getting free money. You're not to pay off everything, but you are getting tools to help alleviate some of that financial stress in the meantime.
Right.
But just keep in mind that you're going to have to pay it back, right? So during the recovery period, you're going to have to work, you know, probably twice as hard to ensure that you don't go into debt because of this. So definitely don't borrow more than you need. Just borrow what you need and what can help you get through this time, however long it takes. But in terms of like, I totally went on a tangent there, didn't I?
No, it's totally.
I just went on like, I just came off of like a very more business-like call.
Yeah.
Or Zoom meeting. So we were very, you know, talking about, you know, what does it mean for small businesses and you know, what can we do to alleviate this, and really talking about the tools and stuff. So I'm kind of still in that mode. But kind of back to post-panic, after I realized we have enough toilet paper and all that. Something that I've been a little afraid of doing is video. I know you and I have talked about it in the past.
Yeah.
How, you know, I hate being in front of the camera. By the way, you look great on video right now.
Thank you.
So you should be doing this. You should be doing this a lot more than me.
It's very uncomfortable, though. I may look great, but I do not feel fully aligned into who I am. There's a lot of, it's not grounded.
I know.
Very, like, it's also part of the excitement of actually getting to sit and talk to you.
Yeah.
And then just people in general is like, I get to play.
But you know, at least it's familiar faces, and we're catching up that way, so it's a little more comfortable, right?
Yeah. For sure.
But God, it's been awkward doing videos on my own.
Yeah. Are you talking to an audience when you do your videos?
No, it's just me.
Just you talking to the camera.
Just me talking to the camera, and the first one was definitely very awkward. So it's kind of going back to what I've been pushing myself to do, getting comfortable in front of the camera for one, and learning a little bit about video editing, because I've always left it to my video team to take care of. And, you know, it's always been like, nope, I take care of photography. That is it.
Yeah.
That's all I want to touch.
Yeah.
But now, you know, it's learning that side of it. And maybe I won't be proficient by the end of all of this, but at least I have a better knowledge of it. And the comfort level is definitely getting higher with every next one.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, just been doing random ones like review videos, instructional videos. There's one that's going to be sent out to the Tri-Cities Chamber of Commerce members today on how to set up an online store in under 30 minutes. So hopefully that's something that small businesses out there can make use of, and you know, continue to do some business while they can't be face to face with customers.
Of course.
So yeah.
So do you sit there and strategize about what kind of topics that you want to talk about, or do they just, like, how do you decide what you're going to be doing?
I mean, I look at what's around me, so I wouldn't say strategize, because that sounds like there's more planning involved. I definitely,
because I can tell you, if there's one area that I think that I need to work on, it's like coming up with a plan, and then I realize that really is where all my halting is. I'm like, just do it. Just talk about what's ever coming to you and share that.
Totally.
I still come up against a wall, even as I know.
You'll see in a lot of my videos, I'm still doing a lot of ums and ahs and just terrible, right? But that's because I'm not a planner in that sense per se, especially when it comes to something that I'm doing personally.
Yeah.
So it's off the top of my head. You know, back in my corporate days when I did, you know, presentations for 200, 300 people, a lot of times it was just off the top of my head, and you know, but obviously based on knowledge that I've acquired and on the topic, but it's more freestyle than anything. Yeah. And I feel like that's what I'm most comfortable with, rather than reading off a teleprompter or any sort of script. Well,
it helps when you know what it is you're talking about, right? Then you can just
usually, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to adjust the screen. There you go. Now I can see.
Are you gonna pull the Henrietta? Is this on? Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? How does this thing work? I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, so that's taken up a bit of my time. Otherwise, it's been looking at how we can market our business, you know, and then also what else can I do to help with the situation out there. I know a lot of people on the front line, they have it the hardest right now, and they're the most at risk.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying not to get too wrapped up in all the constant Facebook feed and updates of everything. It's been crazy, right?
Yeah.
And a little draining mentally too. So, you know, for everyone out there, take care of your mental health. You know, do stuff like this. Talk to people that you want to talk to, but you can't quite see right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of coming up with plans on how we can help the community, however we can, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I don't know what I can do, but definitely getting some ideas from other people out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, maybe we can even band together virtually with other people and do something good, you know?
Yeah.
But how about yourself? How have you been spending your time the past?
Man, I can keep myself busy in my retreat of my home. It's quite calming over here at our place. We like doing indoor stuff like reading and a lot of art, playing music, living room dance parties. So it's enjoyable, the indoor retreat time away from everyone. And then I have this, right? Like I have created the opportunity and the possibility for people to come over and just have a conversation of whatever it is that they want to talk about. And there'll be more of that. I think understanding how we can collaborate more of this online connection, which I haven't quite figured out that being the comfortable term for it. Anyway, and then back in December, I did that feminine leadership workshop, and we had some wonderful leaders that came out and had the conversation there. And we were going to I was thinking of putting on some more, either on a monthly basis. And as I started coming up more after the holidays into January, what that would look like, thinking, okay, maybe February will be a good time. And then started off maybe in spring, because March is a good time for renewal. And so there was an event coming up for March, and now it's looking like we will connect this way instead.
Right.
Instead of in person. So getting that invitation out and seeing what that feedback is. I know I've been reaching out to almost everybody I know to see how they're doing. I haven't been speaking with them on a regular basis and just asking. Even my neighbor, she's in her 80s. And I know there's a lot of messaging out there, like check up on your neighbor, make sure that they're taken care of, check the elderly. And she lives right next door. And I just asked her, is there anything you need? How are you doing? And nobody had checked on her in our neighborhood. No one had checked on her. And it was just that, oh, maybe somebody else is doing it. If we're all being told the same message, maybe somebody else is doing it. And I'd rather have someone ask me many, many times how I am than not being asked how I am at all.
Yeah.
Like, so to just extend that and say, oh, well, somebody else is taking care of them. They've got kids. They'll come in and check on them. Don't just go and check. And it turned out all she wanted was a bottle of gin.
Yeah.
So happily went to go get her that. Asked her if she needed anything else. She's like, no, it's just a splash of tonic and I got plenty of that. I just need the bottle. Yeah. Okay.
We'll just drink it. Drink the medicine.
She's totally fine. Yeah. She's like, no, she's got her pantry filled with all of her beans and seeds and oats and all the stuff that she has. So
that's good. Well, that's sweet of you.
I mean, I do it for you too. Do you need a bottle of gin? I'll just drop it off.
Well, I've been taking pictures of a bottle of gin, just, challenging myself to take pictures of anything. And no, I'm good for liquor. I think, I definitely fall into lucky category, and I think we're good. For now at least, and I think we can weather the storm and ride this out.
Yeah.
But just lots of thoughts coming up in my mind, the last few days for sure, and it feels like almost like a reset. It's like a test of everything that you valued and what you thought was important, and a lot of realizations, I think, coming up through all of this.
I think that's what is so wonderful and scary at the same time when we're forced into these situations of reflection. We don't know, and we're afraid of what we don't know, right? Yeah. And so when these bits of information that starts to come up that we hadn't addressed before in the past, we're like, oh, that's a new thought, or that's a scary thought. What do I think about all of that? And then now we have the time to unpack all of what that means. And it can be scary. And if you don't have someone to talk about what it is you're going through or what's coming up for the first time, or maybe several times, and now it's really asking for attention, I think it's very important for us to be able to reach out to whoever is able to listen and hear us and sit with us through what's running through our mind. I almost want to ask you, because then I was like, oh, but this might be shared. You may not want to share. What is the biggest challenge that's coming up for you now that you realize, oh, I hadn't really thought about that or given much attention to before?
I I don't know if it's necessarily a challenge. You know, I still am pretty positive overall on you know, what's going to happen after all of this, and how we're going to rebuild. I think the initial panic, of course, always is like, you know, what about all these bills that I have, right? What's going to happen with that? So I think I've gotten a good grasp on it, you know, taking advantage of certain things like, you know, a mortgage deferral, and just to take away some of that stress for now. And then
do you find it easy for yourself to take action when you come up with those types of realizations?
Yeah, I think I'm good in any sort of emergency situation.
That's good.
Well, I've learned early on that, you know, the key thing is to remain calm. Right. Don't do anything based on emotion. And as you know, I'm a very even keel guy, so that's not much of a problem. And, you know, if I am feeling somewhat emotional, then I'm good at keeping it at bay until at least until we resolve what's the main concern. So I think I'm good at staying calm, and then just kind of looking at, okay, what do we need to address first? Basically build a list in my head. What do we need to address first? And then start picking off at it. And if the first answer is not what I expected, then great. What's the second answer? What's plan B? What's plan C? And so forth. So kind of just tackling that list. And then after that, we can worry about, you know, other stuff. You know, even going back and forth with my daycare, who, you know, I'm just gonna say it outright. They're just reaping in. They're still raking in money during this time.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, until the official announcement came out on Friday that the government is going to help out, not just the daycares, but the parents that have kids going there as well. But up until that point, it was just, you know, there's absolutely no compassion. And, you know, my kid is done there at the end of June anyways. So we already gave the notice. And of course, during this time, we don't want her going to the daycare. So, you know, just in discussion with the director there, and it's like, well, why still bill us for it, right? She's not coming back, right? You can even have this month, you can even have next month, we'll pay next month, right? But why not have it end at the end of April? You know, you get the usual, well, it's policy, blah, blah, blah. It's got to be the same for everyone, etc. Right? So I said, fine. But funny thing is, later that day, that's when the announcement came out saying that, you know, you're not going to be billing parents when they're not bringing their kids in during the pandemic, because of the pandemic. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of follow up on that. So yeah. So it's stuff like that. And you know what, how your company handles the situation is going to be reflected on you after all of this is over. You can rest assured that that's going to happen. Right?
Absolutely.
So to all the banks out there and, you know, big corporations, what are you doing about it to help fellow humans, right? Not just your community, but it's a global crisis. So do what you can. Right.
That'll be interesting.
I saw the other day Labatt's.
Labatt's
Brewing Company. They've changed it so that they're producing their own hand sanitizer to supply to those in need, and to the people in need first. So that's kind of cool. I know quite a few breweries are doing that now. I saw that. Saw the first craft brewery down in Portland a while back. I was like, yes, what are all our byproducts of what it is that we do that can help us? I actually got a letter from Canadian Apparel Association. And they're reaching out to all apparel manufacturers to see if they would consider making gowns and face masks for the front line and any other garments that are going out of stock, not available. No, that's awesome.
I
saw a good suggestion from someone online that, you know, with the nail salons and all these personal services closing down temporarily,
Yeah.
you know, can they donate their masks and gloves that they use, right?
Yeah.
Or support in some way. So I thought that was a pretty good idea. Hopefully, there would be enough people on board that, you know, to really help our frontline workers be safe. Because obviously they can't get sick. If they get sick, then who's going to take care of
Oh, I know.
everyone catching it, right?
I know. And they go in there every day, surrounded by a virus that has no cure currently.
But, you know, it's not all doom and gloom.
No.
There's always a ray of sunshine. Tell us about the sunshine.
Oh, man.
Well, maybe not today. It's raining a little bit.
No, it's raining. It was raining a little bit. It cleared up for a bit. But...
so in terms of Tagulan, it's that's kind of on hold for now, or?
You know, you mentioned earlier about a reset on everything, and today, you know, it's Monday work day. I'm like, okay, what's going on in my company right now? And it's one of the things that I did really well is streamlining corporate ecosystems, and it's looking at efficiencies and deficiencies and finding out how can we be more efficient in what it is that we do between departments. And so I found myself today going, I can reset my company right now and almost start anew. Not that it's looking for a refresh, but there's certainly, like, my manufacturing is in South America and it's very global. And I was very specific as to why I selected the particular manufacturer in Nicaragua, you know, and there's all of these check marks that it all made. And that was over 5 years ago. And it's likely that I'll stay with them. However, in my 5-6 years of being in apparel, what are other manufacturers that have come forward in the past and say, hey, we would like to manufacture for you, or we have this offering for you, and see if what those requirements are and if I'm able to meet that. And so it's an interesting review of where my company's at and what changes I can make to. One of the things I wanted to do was have it all Canadian made. And at the beginning, I did not have the quantity to use manufacturing in Canada. But now it's a very good possibility that I have the quantities available to have full in-house manufacturing in Canada.
Okay.
And so it's an interesting exercise to go and look and go, what's been working? What doesn't work? How can we find different ways of being efficient in that?
Doing all the stuff that we never had time to deal with before, right?
No, yeah. Like there was no reason for me to stop and look at my manufacturing process at all. And again, not to say that it will change, but it's certainly something to look at and review. I think we're all being affected online, and there's respectable sensibilities, and, like, I'm not going to start putting a whole bunch of sponsored ads continuing through Facebook of buying clothes. Like, that's not what we're here for. But there is a message within Tagulan of what it is that we can do. So we're cultivating community, a shirt that says cultivate. We're planting seeds of, like, good, positive intention that we can implement them now, and these ideas will grow into something much bigger than we know, right? To dig deeper into what we're going through, to get grounded so that we can have a strong foundation to move and grow from, to grow and rise up for all of us. So there's lots of wonderful meaning and messages in that, you know, over the weekend I was reviewing and looking and going, okay, how am I stepping up as a leader in my community and with my brand, and what messages that we've been always bringing, and now showcase it and shine light on it again, and go like, oh yeah, this is our message. It has been for a long time. We're going to use it again.
Do you have any suggestions for my business? Was that like it, it's something that we've been trying to work on for years now, but again, it's uh, kind of fallen a little bit lower on the priority list. Just trying to catch up with emails all the time and
Mhm.
editing and all of that. But because we want to share our love too, right? And
Yeah.
uh, see where we can help the community. But yeah, any thoughts about that for me?
What comes to my mind for what you guys do at Butter is so lovely and beautiful, and that a lot of the photography you take is wedding photography. Is that
Mm-hmm.
correct? And there's love stories within wedding photography, and to share, your experience with a couple or the day of, all the highlights that had occurred with your contact and meeting them. Like, what is it that you liked about this couple? What was the highlight of that wedding? And show maybe a photograph of your favorite picture from that couple's wedding, and just spreading stories of love and joy, especially at this time when we're not seeing a lot of that. And just a reminder of like, this is what we get to capture. We get to capture this love. We get to capture this reunion. We get to capture this promise that this couple, who are probably now like retreating in the same space, not only a reminder to everybody else out there that this is what you do, but also to the couple of being like, these are the vows that you have made to each other, and how can we highlight and emphasize on that beauty and that promise that you two have made on that wedding day, especially at this time when we're not entirely taught how to be in each other's space for long periods of time.
Thanks to this wonderful day. Now you're quarantined with each other.
Remember that wedding day? Remember that promise you made?
Remember how nice that wedding day was?
Yeah, that's the idea.
For sure. Cool.
Oh, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Without overthinking.
I think it goes. The messaging is a little bit similar across all of our services too, right? So not just weddings, but like for example, events, the fundraising galas that we photograph. Unfortunately, a couple had to be postponed at this time. But these not-for-profits they're really relying on these big marquee events to raise most of their funds for the year.
Right.
So it's quite unfortunate, and
and it's a reminder to those sponsors too, right? Like this event happened last year, and we got to be a part of this great fundraiser, and these are the people that came out, and that's a great way to share the experience. Reminder.
So to all the people that are still gathering in big groups and stuff right now, going out unnecessarily.
They're not, are they? There's no.
It's been pretty disappointing, like the last few days. I mean, obviously with the weather good too, people want to get outside, right?
Yeah.
But just driving by playgrounds that were full, and I don't know if you've ever been to the Crunch in Coquitlam. It's the hiking trail, a pretty popular one, but it was just jam packed. There were cars everywhere. Nobody was social distance. I shouldn't say nobody, but it appeared like there were big groups of people walking together and stuff, right? So,
if you go to my Facebook page, I posted a link of all the best secluded spots in Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice. You should go check it out.
Oh yeah.
You should.
It says you click on it and it says "Stay the F home." Is that the one?
That's the one.
And you should know by now what you've seen. I've already seen. No, I'm good.
I know.
I'm just bugging.
I'm a little bit slow to the party.
Should I start calling you Hank? Will you respond to Hank?
I do. Actually, I was going to put out like a little survey of like who calls me what name. There's Henrietta, Rita, Henry, and Hank, and then see, and see who still calls me what. I think the majority would call me Henrietta, but to know that I have other nicknames.
Yeah, I'm lazy with speaking, so I end up calling you Hen. I think most of the time. Hope that's okay.
I know there's 4 syllables, 9 letters. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, I'm still seeing people everywhere when I drive by. So I just wish everyone would stay home, because I feel like we have to reset the lockdown every time people are still out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's true.
It's not going to get better until everyone's on board.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The longer it takes for them to stay inside, the longer it takes for us to be outside.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, we just want to get back to work and normal lives, you know? Like,
it's going to be months, I think, before that happens.
To be fair, I think 20-year-old me probably wouldn't be taking it as seriously also.
Yeah?
Yeah, because, you know, there's less risk. You know, you're young, you still want to go out, you still want to socialize. You know, it seems like such a distant problem, right?
Right.
So, you know, I get where that thinking comes from.
Yeah.
But if you have, you know, your parents or people around you that can explain it to you better and let you know what the real risk is, perhaps that'll help get more people to stay home. But I think if you go even younger, it might be even harder to get that. So unfortunately, I think we need some sort of enforcement of it, right?
Yeah. Do you think that's a fair thing for the city to do, is to start implementing fines or for violation of leaving their homes?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. You know, and in this world of political correctness, you know, even the words social distancing, like, that's my first thought when I heard that, was that that's too PC. Not everybody's going to get the importance of it.
No.
It's a very nice way of saying, like, stay away from other people, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you just say stay away from other people from the start?
Yeah, word choice is very important.
Yeah,
for sure. Even the combination of being socially distant, you can be social and, you know, still be far apart.
Yeah. And, you know, we live in a multicultural country, so there are a lot of newer immigrants here too, right? And English as a second language. So when you say social distance to them versus, no, you should stay home.
Yeah.
Or you have to stay home.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get a very different reaction between the two.
Right.
You know, I saw a couple of grandparents. You know, yesterday I just drove by a playground. I saw a couple of grandparents with their grandkids still playing at the playground.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, let's just make sure the messaging is clear. I don't know what the media, you know, the print media is doing about this, but hell, we're at that point where, you know, just throw it on your front page. The next 3 issues, stay home. Everybody just stay home. That's all you need to say. We don't need the other news right now. That's just all you need to say.
Maybe we should just start posting that on all our social channels. Just stay home. Stay home. Stay home. Stay home. Stay home.
I have a helium tank, you know, in my garage, because I was, you know, obviously I have more time to clean out my garage, and I think I still have a little bit of helium left in it. I was thinking of putting up a big sign that just says "Stay home" and attaching it to a few balloons and just let it go. You know?
There you go. Oh, I thought you were going to say that you're going to inhale the helium and tell people to stay home in your helium voice.
You know, my voice pretty much sounds the same even with helium.
It does.
You still get that monotone.
Oh my gosh. You should do that bouncing on the bouncy castle.
Yeah.
Helium voice. Maybe get dressed up in tutus and crowns and.
That sounds like too much work. You
don't have to do it.
You do it first.
You can get your kids to help you get dressed up. Mine don't do that anymore.
So what's the plan? What's the plan for the next couple of days for you then?
Really get clear on, again, messaging for online, and continue to shine light for other leaders to feel safe and speak their message. Yeah.
And sorry I had to miss that light and sound therapy session, but you want to tell us a little bit about that? What that?
It's probably like I'm so excited for it. It's one of my favorites.
And by the way,
Yeah.
just so you know that it was serious, I still can't go to my dentist to get my permanent crown on. I still have my temporary crown on, which is so annoying.
Okay, fine. Fine, you're off the hook.
Yeah. Next time for
Next
sure.
time for sure. We do have some other sessions coming up, planned for at least once a month, and 3 sessions for each of the offerings on the day.
Yeah.
But essentially what it is so there's light therapy, and the light therapy is Lucia number 3 light. It's created in Austria by a neurologist and a psychologist. And one of the 2 doctors had a near-death experience as a child and found it really fascinating, the sensation that he had in this near-death experience, and had spent he was 9 years old when that had happened, and had spent his entire life in building out his career in trying to recreate that sensation, because the sensation he had was very peaceful and light. Any sense of anxiety or fear, all of that was just gone. He was just in absolute bliss. And so through his research and study, thought, okay, there's different ways. There's man-made medication, there's plant medicine, there's all of those things. And he's like, well, if it looked and felt like light, can I recreate it using just light? So him and this doctor have created the Lucia number 3 light. And so when you lie underneath the light, it's just one steady stream of light, and then around it are 8 other ones that move and strobe. And so when you're lying underneath the light with your eyes closed, the light, so there's movement with the light. There's different patterns that occur.
Oh, so your eyes are actually closed during this whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
But through your eyelids, you can see the light come through, and you can experience different sensations from that, because the light is activating different parts of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
This is all the research stuff that I'm doing right now as well. That will also be on the website.
Yeah.
And from that, you can access different parts of your brain and memory and recall, and the stimulation that the brain gets. And so it can feel like a very deep meditative practice. Mm-hmm. So if you are someone who does meditate on the regular, this is just another added meditation to that. And then we add sound. So we know that light has sound. If you ever seen thunder and lightning strikes first, that's what you see, and it's followed by sound.
Yep.
And we live in a soundscape universe, and the sound has different frequencies. And so when we play the crystal tone bowls that are infused with different properties of minerals and crystals, we know that they have different frequencies. They're made and they play a frequency, and when you play them and you're lying in the room, you can feel the vibration in your body through your ear canal, and the sensation of it all. How can I describe it? Your energy channel, and it just like vibrates all of the other stuff that's not necessary. Mm-hmm. So then you become more realigned to your own natural frequency, and you clears out your energy channels.
So at the end of the day, this is a form of meditation.
Yeah. It's a form of meditation. If you're able to just lie there, and you can do them separately, you don't have to do them both together. This is just a nice practice to be able to have both. Mm-hmm. Is that we already know what sound does to water or to liquid. We can see the frequency that's happening to it, and when the frequency stops, that vibration remains. And since we are composed of more than 70% water, when our own body is receiving that type of frequency, we know that how our body was before receiving sound and how it is after is different.
Right.
Yeah. And so we're just increasing the frequency. And then each frequency sound, each pitch is the same frequency as your energy channels or your chakra in your body.
So for somebody like me that doesn't normally meditate, never tried yoga kind of thing. I believe I like chaos in my mind, and just always go, and I function better under stress and all that. How would I benefit from a session like this?
Yeah.
Your mind.
Yeah. So you know this already, whether you've experienced it or have not yet experienced it, but someone who operates the same way you do already has, and that's burnout. We know that this type of being of constantly going without stop and rest is not sustainable. And so being able to quiet our body and our minds allows us to function better when we are called to be in a more stressful situation. So that we can differentiate our emotional and thought self and be aligned to what it is that we're asked to be doing, whether it's
I just had an image pop up in my mind of me in this giant empty room going, hello? Hello?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we're probably experiencing some of that to some degree right now.
Yeah.
With what's going on. Yeah, and so
I've been inadvertently trying to avoid that right now, I guess, and just trying to do things, but it might be healthy to just have a breather and just some quiet time too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Not too much of it.
Not too much of it, of course. No, because then that just takes away from being, the world needs people like you who are action oriented and can carry out tasks. Otherwise, just be lounging under the sun all day.
Sure.
and that's what they do.
Totally not ready to bounce back, right?
Right.
When all this is over.
So and I'd love for you to experience it, because every experience is different. Everyone will experience it differently. But what it does encourage you to do is to lie still, to just allow your brain to be busy and eventually not busy, and to create Nero artwork that you get to see in that moment for just that time, and then it's gone. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. Well, I'm game for trying it out.
Yes.
Maybe I'll take pictures of it first. First session, and then I'll try it out the second session.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. We did do the sort of an invite only session, get feedback from the community and see what it is that they enjoyed and any curiosities they may have around it. My target audience are definitely every single person that I come across that I know.
Yeah. And
the ones that are out there helping and being light workers and teachers and yoga instructors and counselors and therapists, they are taking on a lot of energy and emotion of others, and they may have their own practice of having their own meditation or their own yoga practice, their own way of protecting themselves, their energy. And so this just allows another method of bathing that all away, and anything that is not meant to be for you is just washed away with the sound.
But those types of people are generally pretty, even keeled and have their own methods already, like as you mentioned, right?
Yeah. And even those people want to be taken care of.
Yeah.
They also want someone to just surrender safely with. And that's me.
So this is something that you're hosting on your own, or you've partnered up with a couple people kind of thing?
Yeah, so I've partnered up with Hillstrom. He currently lives in Victoria with his wife. Lovely, lovely man, and he's taught me how to play. He's got a full set of crystal bowls. So we're going to partner together and offer it here in Vancouver, and we're actually looking for. We're going to try it out at the Nest once all of this flips away. Yeah.
Cool.
He's been playing for many years, many different places, and it's a good time to collaborate and partner with that.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to check it out firsthand and in person.
I can't wait to.
I promise I won't have an emergency root canal next time.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I invite you to come out. What is happening for you and with Butter and Togger?
Well, on the Togger side, I actually have time now to start doing the review and instructional videos, which was one component that I really wanted to add onto the website. So I've been focusing on that. As far as Butter goes, it's pretty much on hold at this time. There's not much we can do in terms of photographing. So even with some clients wanting their shoots to go ahead, we've made the call to postpone them. You know, as much as we could use the paycheck right now, it's just like I mentioned earlier, we're fully on board with the distancing, and you know, we at the end of the day we are considered a non-essential business, so we're just gonna shut it down 100% until this all blows over. But on the flip side, you know, it helps me, or it gives me a chance to think about different ways of marketing that we haven't thought of before.
Will you hold private workshops, like teaching instructions? So it would be like they'd pay a fee to join Zoom, and you get one-on-one through Zoom and their cameras. And
I think it's a little harder to do it over Zoom, I guess. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. Anything's possible, Chris. There's already a billion resources for that online.
But not with you.
Yeah, I know, but there's some really good ones. Not with me too. So you know, it's a thought, but I'd rather maybe people think about potentially using our services, you know, in the future.
Yeah.
So if they want to help a small business out right now, they can purchase a gift card or a shoot voucher for someone for the future. So I just set up a quick online store to enable us to sell that. You can either get a physical gift card or a digital one if you don't want anything shipped to you right now.
Yeah.
So
that's a great idea.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, like I said, you know, we've not necessarily planned for this, but planned enough to hopefully ride it out for a few months, and then we can come back full force after. But in the meantime, I'd rather think about how we can sort of help each other out.
Absolutely.
In the community. So yeah,
fantastic.
That's about it. And now I think I have to do some more adulting and jump on a different meeting, unfortunately. I'd rather sit on this one. We can touch base again.
Yes. Thanks for coming over to play.
Yeah.
Okay. One question before you go.
Yeah.
What will you be doing to invite more play into your day?
I think more of this. once we get this out, you know, I think you and I talked about, you know, possibly a segment of something along the lines of coffee time with Chris.
Yeah. Coffee time.
Maybe, you know, if it's not taken, maybe we'll go with catching up with Chris or something.
Catching up with Chris.
Yeah.
I know. You're like way ahead of the curve here, so we all got to try and catch up to you.
I don't know.
Down.
I don't know about that. But, you know, the intention is to obviously touch base with old friends, but and talk about anything really, whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And you know, joke together, learn together.
You have a dad joke for me?
And teach together, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. We got the motto right there. Beauty. So yeah, there'll be more playing in that form.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming over.
For sure.
I'll see you again soon.
Okay. Take care. Stay healthy, everyone. Virtual. All right. Later.